Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today's theme is If I Were Your Coach. We're going to ask Jenna different questions as a business owner, and let's see how she can help us with those questions. Welcome, Jenna.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So my first question is, if someone comes to you and say, I am overwhelmed, where would you tell them to start?
Well, first, so you said we're speaking in terms of business owners, if they're feeling overwhelmed. Okay. So first I would have them just probably analyze one day where they feel the most overwhelmed, and I would have them write a list of very specific things, starting from the second they wake up to the second they fall asleep. Typically, a small business owner's biggest overwhelm is usually finances. I'm currently listening to a book and I learned so much in like one chapter. And I'm like, man, I wish I listened to this 16 years ago. But it's interesting that I think he said 90% of businesses fail under 5 years, and it's strictly financial. So the reason I say a lot of the overwhelm comes from the finances, even if you have a very profitable business, just the feeling of not being organized within the financials can be very overwhelming. So I would have somebody literally start from the second they wake up. What makes them feel overwhelmed? What are they thinking about? And start there.
So basically, you'd suggest them to pause for the moment and reflect.
Literally sit and think and reflect. It's funny because everything we learn in therapy is literally what ends up happening in every part of our life.
That's right. That's a very good advice. What are the first 3 things you look at when a business owner feels stuck?
Well, what does that mean by stuck?
Overwhelmed, stuck, or not seeing a growth?
So the first thing I would look at is I would literally just start by asking them, like, what makes them feel stuck? What do they feel like they're stuck in? So maybe I'll use an example of one of my clients. So majority would be in growing the business. So not understanding where exactly to even begin, what that looks like. Because I'm like, are you growing team? Are you growing people? Are you having a difficult time finding the right people? Which is usually the second biggest problem I've noticed. Or are you struggling financially growing it, which usually does coincide, but not always, because that's completely different, because it could even just be like a big marketing struggle, which is usually the third problem. So that's typically what I see in the average business owner. Yeah.
So what's that one problem that business owner thinks they have one problem, but it's completely a different problem?
Oh, that literally has happened every single client that I've had so far. So it does always start with one thing. And then I'm like, well, what do you actually want? What do you want your business to look like? And then that's where we realize they don't even know what they want, or they realize that their culture or their values of their business aren't portraying what they're doing on the daily. Because I always say, like, if your culture is respect and the leader and business owner are not showing their own team respect, it needs to align, right? So that's just an example, but everything needs to make sense to what you are wanting in your business or wanting out of your business. And I think a lot of people just get stuck on what they think they want. Or they see something on social media. Their vision board will be basically like money, money. And I'm like, that's not, money follows. I've always said this. If you do what you love, you're passionate, you're happy, the money follows automatically. So I always say, if you just focus on what you are trying to build, what you want as a person for your business, that would be a good starting point.
So basically, like, they have to have like a clear vision before even starting a business or running a business. They should stick to that vision and work accordingly.
I feel like even when I started, I remember just thinking, like, I was so young and literally didn't have a clear vision in my head other than I make this much amount of money in a month. I can pay all the bills for this said building, utilities, everything I need, and I could still make money being all by myself. So I just knew my vision was, I'm going to build the best skilled team. And I never had a money dream. Like, I never cared about the money part. I just knew I can pay all the bills. So it's funny because I'm like, my bank wouldn't even give me a credit card for the business at that time. And I look back and I'm like, it's so funny because I'm like, I've obviously come a very far way, but at the same time, I understand the risk involved from a bank's perspective. They lose, I can only imagine how much money in a year just starting small businesses with people. So
yeah, awesome. How do you, if they're actually busy or they're distracted?
that's something that I'm actually working on right now, is sitting back and organizing every single day, every single hour of your schedule when you are in the business. And if there's anything I can recommend for brand new business owners, it's literally that. You could make it from 0 to 80 in a shorter amount of time than I ever made it from 0 to 10.
Right.
It's just so unorganized, but I was just hustling behind the chair to make the money, to do this, to do that. But we learn as we go, right? So everything's hindsight 2020, they say. But so I think creating a routine, making the time blocks in your schedule, especially if you're not an organized person. ADHD is a real thing. That it's funny because they say a lot of entrepreneurs, majority of entrepreneurs have ADHD, which a lot of people will say like it's a superpower until you actually struggle and actually have ADHD. I'm not saying people don't, but there is a lot of diagnoses, I think they say. Because when you have ADHD, it comes with more struggles than it ever would good. But at the same time, it also, when people say it's a superpower, it helps not be organized. Like your life is just chaos, but you're just like always doing something. Your hyper focus is insane when you're doing it. Like I could crush something, but then I'm like, I won't remember it in 3 weeks from now. So like it really is a pro and a con, but they say the majority % or something insane do have a specific, whether it's ADHD or something similar, because of that hyper focus. And we just like don't stop until we do that said thing. So organization and routine are very important.
And would you say taking a day off is also important?
Extremely important. And 16 years later, I'm getting better at this. But at the same time, I'm like, if I would have had a coach or somebody 15 years ago, I think I had people I looked up to. I just didn't realize the importance of organization, and just like things were different. If I could go back in time, which I think this is what I do love about being able to coach and help people, is that I can help build them so quick because I lived both options now. And just seeing how you can have a very healthy relationship to being an entrepreneur. It doesn't need to be the wind and grind and hustle and not sleeping because you've been working so hard and the go mindset. It doesn't need to be that way. You do need rest and relaxation. You do need to separate from your work.
In order to recharge.
Yes, you need to recharge, and you can't recharge if you're constantly going. So
you need to have a moment and just like pause, basically.
Yeah.
For everything.
So you've probably asked me this in episodes before, and I'm like, I remember you saying something about if you could teach somebody anything, what would it be? I don't know what I said, but this is what I would teach somebody. It's time blocking and using your time wisely. And if you are a people pleaser, this is a whole nother thing. It's shame. Something from shame. Go to therapy for your shame. You probably don't even know you have shame, but I didn't even know what shame meant till last year. So there's just many things that I'd go back and teach people. Or myself.
Perfect. That was some awesome episode with you. Thank you so much, Jenna.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.